I'm a little fired up about the teaching on the Karmamudra. It's exciting. It's exciting, this stuff. Get you worked up. So, I don't know, I thought this is the book to, supersexual orgasm is like the Bible. You just do what it says. Men, do your part. Women, it's really your deal, but your man will support you, should support you. And doing it together is probably the only way for most people. So men, support your woman in doing that, and women, do the job, do your job, and my God, it's unbelievable how fun it is, how powerful women are that can do that. Oh my God. I don't know, maybe 1%, 2%, 3% population could do that, and they rule. They just hold everything in their hands. But this book right here, I don't know, this is all going to seem very sexist. It's going to seem like we're just a bunch of whoremongers, you know, trying to put women in a place, but you got to look a little deeper than that. And anything it says in here about a man, it goes to double for a woman. It don't sound good, man. It don't sound good in today's ears, the way he said it, but you know, if I were to say it, here's the way I would say it today. Be like Trungpa Rinpoche, be like the Vajra Regent. They were so social. You just can't believe the social world they created around them. We used to call the Regent the funniest man in the world, because he was the funniest man in the world. You know, I'm not saying, I mean, I adore the Regent, but I'm not blind to anybody. I'm not blind to anybody. You know, I'm not blind to things that went wrong and imperfections in the Vajra Regent. I'm not blind to that, but I'm just telling you that there was something admirable going on there, something that one could look to and say, yeah, this is what they're talking about. We're talking about this person who created this society around them. They were the center of this society, and it was very powerful, and it worked. And, you know, there's people that got hurt, probably. Not with Trungpa Rinpoche. Try to find one person who got hurt except a lady who makes her a living trying to get $600,000 checks from people because she's out of money. I mean, maybe she deserved that $600,000. She deserved every penny of that $600,000. It's the next check she went for that was questionable. Try to take down Trungpa Rinpoche and the whole Shambhala world so she could get the payday after the other payday that she spent. And willing to lie like a dog, do it. Both of them. Demons, as Khyentse Rinpoche calls them, rightly so. At least one he calls a demon, but I'm sure he doesn't have kind words for the other one either. I don't know, this is also controversial, I guess. It's impossible to talk about, but you better read this book, man. It's unbelievable. And it's hard to understand. It just doesn't sound right in our ears, but there's something going on in there. But I just can't, if I think of a person, Karmamudra are the regent. But I'm sure there's other people that have create this kind of enlightened society around themselves, make themselves the center of this fantastic, rich social world, in which people are getting enlightened left and right, getting raised up, and enlightened society is being created. I don't know. Some of this is going to sound wrong to you girls especially, but I think you just flip it around and you become the initiator of this beautiful world. You're not someone being used in this. You're creating this. This is as much as any man, more so. Nothing can be done without the women. I don't know. I'm not a right person to be talking about what happens at a Vajrayana feast because I've been to so few myself. But Karen Lavin told me that she'd been to a lot. She told me a little bit about it, but it just depends on the teacher and it depends on everything. And I read a little bit in Enigma teachings about Enigma teachers who are really into this. But here's what happens at a Vajrayana feast. They try to find an equal number of men and women. That's interesting. I wonder why they do that. I don't know. Maybe I'll save the whole feast story. But it's rich, man. People that know what a feast is, don't need much explaining. But it's just very rich situation where there's music, there's dance, there's poetry, there's a lot of practice. There's a lot of sadhana. There's a lot of feasting and drinking. And at the end, they all have sex, perhaps. Or, if you're lucky or whatever. I'm not saying right there on the spot, but in the past, a lot of Enigma situations, they do. I believe. The only thing I can figure out, they got one big tent, equal number of men, equal number of women, and the guru's known for getting everybody enlightened with Karmamudra, and then it happens, I think it's probably a good thing. Not that I've done a lot myself, but I don't know. I just love reading this book. I really don't understand a lot of it. It doesn't. So he talks about being a citizen. Here's what a citizen does. A citizen does this. A citizen does that. A citizen gets himself a parrot and teaches it to talk. That's what a citizen does. One of the things he does. He creates this milieu around him. He has parties all the time. He has certain kind of women around him all the time that are fun to have at parties. He's always looking for a woman somewhere, maybe a hard to find woman, maybe a married woman. I'm not saying this is right or wrong or anything, but he's always trying to convince a reluctant woman to come to the party. But in a good way. I think this is all a good way. He's just fun, and he's alive, and he's interested in interacting with people, and those people can get enlightened through this stuff. It's very powerful. it's just, there's this, what's behind it all is this, it's slightly different on the man's side, but it's the same thing. It's easy for me to talk about the woman's side, but it's the same with the man. It's exactly the same, but let me try to describe it with the woman's side. Everything in here is to get you to get to this attitude of coyness or coquettishness, where you're just playing all the time, and you're just like fishing or something. It's like it's sex play, but it's just like foreplay. It's just like the beginnings of everything. It's just this kind of fun little dance with wittiness and conviviality and socialness, and but it's not like real, it's not any kind of aggressive thing going straight for what you want. You're just playing, and you're playing around, and you're having fun, and there's always like people who are chasing and people who are being chased. It's just joining in with being chased and being chaser. Take turns, Just take turns. Be the one being chased sometimes, and be coy and coquettishness, and play hard to get. And oh my God, it just drives the other one wild. It's just this fun game of driving each other wild by playing hard to get, and that's it. Play hard to get, have fun, drive them wild, and it just inflames everybody's desire. And it's just, everything builds, you don't just go in and wonk, but everything builds. Everything builds toward more and more excitement, da 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 da. And fun, and it's just real fun. So get yourself a parrot, teach it how to talk, and the next thing you know, you're the center of the party, and your parrot is also the center of the party. That's it. Have the party, Go find the party. Have the party. Really, you should have the party if you got the money, Be a little bit, have a little money, and have the party, and okay, I'll just list the chapters. Introductory, Part 2 of Sexual Union, Part 3 about the acquisition of a wife. He teaches you how to get a wife. Part 4 about a wife, what to do with it when you got a wife. Part 5 about the wives of other men. Part 6 about courtesans. This all looks pretty interesting to me. I don't know. Some of this is like from the moon, and some of it is very practical. And a lot of this stuff you can't understand what the heck's saying. I would go with this translation. There's 150 or 500 translations of the Kama Sutra, but this is the only one I can read, really. I mean, I would love them all, and they're great picture books, but it's just a different thing. When you're really trying to understand what this guy said, you want this translation. You don't need a lot of pictures necessarily, but it doesn't hurt. But if you get a bunch of pictures, you're liable to get the wrong translation. I'm just saying. There's things for that, Here's how he breaks up part of it. Well, maybe these are other books besides the Kama Sutra. The Secrets of Love, or the 5 Arrows, or the Light of Love, or the Garland of Love, or the Sprout of Love, or the Stage of Love, also called, or the Boat of the Ocean of Love. These are different Kama Sutras during that time. It starts out with a salutation of the Dharma, the Artha, and the Sangha. There's Artha, this is Kama. There's Artha, which is your normal life. Kama is your love life. And Moksha is your spiritual life. He's talking about your love life, Let's see. On sexual union. Kinds of union according to dimensions, force of desire and time, and on the different kinds of love. 2 of the embrace. 3 on kissing. 4 on pressing or marking with the nails. 5 on biting and the ways of love to be employed with regard to women of different countries. 6 on the various ways of lying down and the different kinds of congress. Congress means sexual union. On the various ways of striking. You strike, not like to beat somebody up, but it's very sexually, you don't do it very hard at all, but you just do it to get them excited. And it sounds appropriate to them. About females acting as the part of males. On holding the lingam in the mouth. How to begin and how to end the congress, different kinds of congress, and love quarrels. Love quarrels is very important. The arts and sciences to be studied, it all kind of like the citizen knows a lot about a lot. Just everything about being a citizen. The life of a citizen. Having thus acquired learning, a man with the wealth that he may have gained by gift, conquest, purchase, deposit, or inheritance from his ancestors should become a householder and pass the life of a citizen. He should take a house in a city or large village or in the vicinity of good men, or in a place which is the resort of many persons. This abode should be situated near some water and divided into different compartments for different purposes. It should be surrounded by a garden and also contain 2 rooms, an outer and an inner one. The inner room should be occupied by the females, while the outer room, balmy with rich perfumes, should contain a bed, soft, agreeable to the sight, covered with a clean white cloth, low in the middle part, having garlands and bunches of flowers upon it, and a canopy above it, and 2 pillows, one at the top and one at the bottom. They should be also a sort of couch besides. And at the head of this, a sort of stool on which should be placed the fragrant ointments for the night, as well as flowers, pots containing coryllium and other fragrant substances, things used for perfuming the mouth, and the bark of the common citron tree. Near the couch on the ground, there should be a pot for spitting, a box containing ornaments, and also a lute hanging from a peg made of the tooth of an elephant. You have to kind of translate it for today's, but he's drinking parties, going to gardens or picnics, other social diversions. About the kinds of women resorted to by citizens and the friends and messengers. Oh, some of it sounds kind of wild, but when you stay with it a while, you just come up with this kind of... Okay, here we go. This is very important. Not everybody understands this. Everybody thinks, it's great to have a large penis, but it's really kind of horrible if you have a woman. There's 3 sizes of men. There's 3 sizes of women. The men are grouped at small to large, as hare, bull, and horse. Women group from small to large as deer, mare, and elephant. So there's, I forget exactly the word. There's high Congress, there's low Congress, there's middle Congress. Middle Congress when they're both the same size. High Congress is when the man is one size larger than the woman. That is the most desirable. Middle Congress is the next desirable. The least desirable is low Congress, where the man is 2 sizes lower than the woman. But you get the man 2 sizes larger than the woman, that is like a no-go zone, man. That will never work. So there are certain women you can't be happy with, certain men that you can't be happy with. They're not the right size. There's one size that you're going to be real happy with, and one size you could be pretty happy with. And the other ones, forget about it. Ain't going to work. So when you find that right size, you get kind of excited. And really, in here they say large size male organ is sort of coarse, considered having a coarse temperament, not very spiritual, more materialistic, so to speak. And a man with a small penis is considered very spiritual, so it's a little different than the way it's looked on out in the world. On the embrace. That's pretty interesting, on the embrace. Now the embrace, which indicates the mutual love of man and woman who have come together, is of 4 kinds: touching, piercing, rubbing, pressing. The action in each case is denoted by the meaning of the word which stands for it. When a man, under some pretext or other, goes in front or alongside of a woman and touches her body with his own, it is called the touching embrace. When a woman in a lonely place bends down as if to pick up somebody and pierces, as it were, a man sitting or standing with her breasts, and the man in return takes hold of them, it is called a piercing embrace. La-di-da, on and on and on. It's kind of coy. Everything's a little bit, oops. Didn't mean to do that when you damn well meant to do that. On kissing, it is said by some that there is no fixed time or order between the embrace, the kiss, and the pressing or scratching with the nails or fingers, but that all these things should be done generally before sexual union takes place, while striking and making the various sounds generally takes place at the time of the union. The guy who wrote this is his name, Vatsayana, however, thinks that anything may take place at any time, for love does not care for time or order. On the occasion of the first Congress, kissing and the other things mentioned above should be done moderately. They should not be continued for a long time and should be done alternately. On subsequent occasions, however, the reverse of all this may take place, and moderation will not be necessary, and they may continue for a long time, and for the purpose of kindling love, they may be all done at the same time. The following are the places for kissing: the forehead, the eyes, the cheeks, the throat, the bosom, the breast, the lips, and the interior of the mouth. Moreover, the people of the... Oh, I gotta stop on.